kind of lets us know that you're here and everything's working okay. Feel free to use the chat. Y'all can use the chat without any limits there within Zoom, the interface in Zoom. But without further ado, I just want to make sure we're all kind of properly introduced. So my name's Michael Roddy. I've been at Billy for about 6 months now. I'm a solutions engineer. I came to Billy from a much bigger technology company from Google Cloud, where I was a technical account manager and a solutions engineer there as well. So it's been really fun to come work for a smaller size tech company, creating practical solutions for construction companies, and actually using some of the technologies that I used to sell on the Google Cloud side, specifically on the AI side of the fence. So without further ado, I'll pass it over to Ashley for a quick intro.
Thanks, Roddy. My name's Ashley. Thank you so much for being here. I'm super excited. I came from Procore. I was there for 5 years. I'm working on the support side and then the acquisitions side, and then moved over to Billy almost a year ago. And I lead all of our implementations as well as manage our support team. Bounce it to Catherine.
Thanks so much, Ashley. Yes, I'm Catherine. I'm our Director of Partner Success here at Billy. I have been with the team just coming up on a year as well. Very excited to have you all on the call today and just dive into a little bit more on the product side. I do have a background here in construction technology, having worked for Procore in the past. So, very excited to be continuing that and working with companies like you all here at Billy on the compliance side.
Hi, I'm Daniel Williams. I'm Director of Integration at Callens, which is a partner with Billy and Procore. We integrate financial data. That's me in a nutshell.
Awesome. Good to have Daniel. So Daniel will be stepping in to show our new Sage Intacct integration later on in the demo today. Without further ado, I'm going to get into the swing of things here and walk you all through a new development we have for all of the Microsoft shops out there. Microsoft Entra is something that allows your teams to log into Billy using your Microsoft credentials. Microsoft Entra is the new name for what used to be called Active Directory on the Microsoft side. So if your organization uses Active Directory or Entra, this feature is for you. But basically, I'm going to show you how that works real quick. So basically, you can just use your Microsoft credentials to log in. You'll see there a sign in with Microsoft option has populated in the login screen. And then boom, boom, you click that, and now you're in your Billy instance. Otherwise, if you don't have this, you can just use your regular Billy credentials to log in to our application. But this is kind of a good way to give you one less thing to remember or have written down in terms of username and password. All the many usernames and passwords can be quite the chore. And so for any of our organizations that are using Microsoft Active Directory or Entra, you can use that a little bit further to make your sign-in process with Billy a little bit more seamless. Now we're in Billy. We're going to swivel into the next part of the demo, which is our improved vendor experience. So we made some improvements to what the subcontractor sees in the upload portal that look a little bit like what's on the right side of your screen there. And what this feature does is it allows vendors and their brokers to instantly see the requirements in the format of a COI. So on the right side, you can see we've mirrored the look and feel, the structure of the Core 25 document to make it easier to make sure that certain boxes are checked and giving guidance as well about, whether it's in a scheduled additional insured and other requirements like that. And these are all going to mirror the requirements that y'all set up in your requirement groups in Billy. This is also going to help you more quickly flag missing requirements, or actually help the subcontractor, helps them flag the missing requirements. And the ultimate goal here is to reduce the back and forth so that hopefully the subcontractor and their broker get it right the first time, speeding up that compliance verification process. To give you all a little bit more to sink your teeth into, I'm going to demo this now in real time. So over here, we are at the upload portal for a vendor called Dion's Neon Lights. In this demo, Rod's Rebars is the general contractor. The project is the Red Bank Restoration Project. And just kind of showing you what you're seeing there in that screenshot. So you can see here, per the requirement groups that I set up in the background of today's demo, you can see here that we are telling them that the claims type needs to be per each occurrence. The general aggregate limit applies per policy, and then certain guidelines around the limits, what endorsements. And as you kind of toggle between, you can see those checkboxes have been customized right down to what the Accord 25 document looks like per required coverage. And then in today's demo, I'll also be including a few endorsements that are commonly required to your policies too. So I'll get to that in just a bit. I'm going to go ahead and upload a document to kind of get cooking here. once again, as if we are Dion's neon lights using Billy. So I'm going to upload the COI. And there's a few other updates to this user experience that we're going to see here in just a minute once the AI gets done processing right there. Just a few other things to call out. We are leaving the sample cert of insurance option there. Most of y'all who are existing partners of Billy are probably already taking advantage of this. This is what enables you to attach a sample COI up front within this upload portal is where that sample COI will show up so that the subcontractor can clearly see what's required of the project and all that good stuff, what's required of the COI, I should say, and all the required coverages and limits. It's also telling them that the cert holders should be rods rebars, the general contractor. These are all the entities that are required to be additional insureds. So yeah, and now we can view the AI results here. So this, once again, is from the subcontractor's point of view. This puts them on the happy path, as you all can see here. This is telling them that from a date perspective, their COI it was issued in the last 60 days. If it were issued outside of that 60-day window, you'd see a red X there instead of a green check mark. It's also telling them that they've got a producer on there. Their insured matches the required additional insured within the requirement groups for this project. The cert holder matches the required cert holder, and then it's also checking to make sure there's a signature when it's also found proactively that they have this endorsement on there. So kind of puts them on the happy path here. If any of these things don't align, they would see a red X in that section there. So kind of helps, once again, spell things out to the sub a little bit quicker to kind of reduce the back and forth between y'all as a GC and your subcontractors throughout the compliance process. Toggling over to the next part of the demo. So we're going to get into now what the general contractor sees, updates to the AI review assistant. So at a high level, what this feature does is it allows you to use our AI review assistant to ask questions, to issue prompts within this little box here, basically chatting with the document itself to make sure that it meets certain requirements. I would suggest that, people that maybe are not as well versed in insurance could use this to kind of get up to snuff. Although the CRIS certified agents that are on this call probably don't need this as much as the people that might need a little bit of help, and the AI kind of gets you there. But as you can see there's a Billy assistant that's generating a summary up top. And then here's where those questions come into play. And then just to kind of show you what this looks like now, I'm going to show you in our demo environment what y'all will see therein. So Dion's Neon Lights has uploaded this document. And then whenever you click into the AI Review Assistant tab, you're going to see pretty much the same thing that we were seeing in the screenshot. So what it's doing now is it's basically asking all of these questions of the uploaded COI, and it's showing the results on the right side. One thing that the Billy Assistant has found up front in this auto-generated summary is that based on the provided data, this certificate is missing a required endorsement, that workers' comp endorsement. It's also telling you that the certificate needs to include this primary and non-contributory endorsement, CG2001. So we'll get to that in a second. I know for a fact that one is housed here because I kind of intentionally made this COI for this demo today to kind of show you how this all works. But as the questions go down here, it quickly tells you that the issuance date on the cert is 12/15, so very recent. That's a good sign. And then giving you other questions up front, telling you who's the producer, the name of the producer, Inigo Montoya, and then, of course, making sure that the insured name matches the cert holder is who is listed on the additional insured of the cert. All sorts of things up front to kind of help you with the document review process. One thing we are not doing away with is this document requirement index that shows up at the bottom here. Super useful because it's found that CG2001 endorsement on page 15. And it's even hyperlinking you to page 15 so you can quickly review the verbiage and just make sure there's no risk transfer that could become problematic for your organization if you were to let this sub onto the job site, if that verbiage was issuing any sort of risk back in your direction. I want to pass the proverbial microphone over to our partner success team, Ashley and Catherine, just so they can speak to some of the value that the right side of this AI review assistant has to offer and how it plays into our managed plans versus our software only customers.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Oh, sorry, Jinx.
Go for it, Ashley.
No, thank you so much, Roddy. Yeah, so I handle, like I said, all of our implementation, which means I get to meet and go through all of the partners that are coming in. And a lot of trends that I'm seeing are no matter how big or small the company is, A lot of partners have, either half-baked kind of compliance processes or none at all, and they're kind of looking to work with Billy to create those processes. And because of that, sometimes they have just random people from their project team who kind of drew the short straw, and they have to be the one to review the documents now that they're starting with Billy, and they have no, real in practice insurance experience. And that can be very intimidating, even if you are someone who has experience, as we know. The example that Roddy just showed was a 45-page document. We see very big packages, like 30-page documents. So this whole extraction AI on the right isn't generative, meaning it just kind of extracts what's exactly there. It's very reliable, which is really, really nice when it comes to compliance. It's extremely important. And it just really distills everything in a quick way, color coded as well, where even if someone's brand new to insurance, brand new to reviewing these documents, they can really have the combination of the AI review assistant, kind of putting it all in one place very quickly and then really teaching them where to find it, so then going forward, they can kind of learn that on their own and they're kind of getting insurance education right alongside, reviewing your documents. So it's just been really, really valuable. And, when I'm reviewing documents as well, I use it all the time and it's just a lifesaver. So yeah, that's what I see on the software side for sure.
Yeah, Catherine, anything to add there?
Yeah, so that's a great description. And our software team, as well as our managed plan team, just gets so much value out of this tool. One thing that I wanted to note in the requirement groups is just the way that those are set up. In mind here with our in house compliance specialist, Christine. Really, the benefit there is making sure that all of these things that AI is pulling from that we set up here in Billy, that's going to be the benefit of making that AI really useful. So I just like to call it that there's the combination of the human experience and strengths. So on the managed plan side, where you have us reviewing your documents for you, we have our highly certified team that's going in from these requirement groups. And as an extension of your team, they're able to set up these requirements, and our team is able to see those. And they can actually take that AI. And again, they're just double checking and verifying. We always have a human that's part of that step of the process to make sure that this is pulling accurately and matching the requirements that you've set up with us, which is really important. So it's kind of combining the benefits here of AI with a highly experienced human reviewer that really makes Billy a powerful tool.
Awesome. Thanks, Catherine. One thing I thought would be fun here is in this little chat box, we could ask it a quick question. So I wanted to ask it, who are all, come on, gotta love it. I was going to ask it, who are all the named additional insureds? Here we go. Who are all the named insured on this COI document? And it should show us a list of names. And this is relevant because there's many sometimes parent companies with like kind of different companies that roll underneath their umbrella. So using the Billy AI Review Assistant, basically it's found all of these named insureds on the COI just to make sure that you can kind of use this as a checklist to make sure that any required company is covered as an additional insured on the COI. Awesome. So that's the new AI updates in a nutshell. Next, I want to show y'all the side panel as sort of a refresher. Not so much of updates here to the side panel, but it's super useful. And so I always want to remind our both our existing partners as well as anyone who's interested in using Billy for the first time that if your organization is using Procore, you can use this side panel to A/B information, specifically vendor compliance info that's housed in both Procore and Billy. We have a two-way integration with Procore, so basically we make it really easy to import your projects and subcontractors into Billy. And then coming back the other direction, we're going to push compliance data information into either or both the compliance tab or the insurance tab, depending on if your organization has Procore Pay, which our CEO actually helped develop that product back in his Procore days. Fun fact. But just as a quick refresher on the side panel here, I've got that opened. Let's see in my many tabs here. So I'm looking at a project called the Billy Trade Center. And then I'm going to choose this vendor right here that looks to have everything compliant to kind of show you what that happy path looks like. Anywhere where you see this Procore chain link symbol takes you to corresponding vendor record in Procore. And you'll see there on the right side, the Procore Billy side panel is popped open, and it's showing you the requirements. Let me zoom in a little bit, showing you the what's housed in Billy already for this vendor called Cotton Construction, working this Billy Trade Center project. It is showing you the subcontract number to keep you honest in case you have Cotton Construction working multiple subcontracts tied to those multiple subcontracts per commitment in Procore. So it kind of helps you keep things kind of delineated there per subcontract, because they may be compliant with one contract for one project, but then not compliant for a different contract tied to a different project, on the odd chance of doing kind of different types of work, different trades doing different work for your organization. But you can see here in the side panel, everything's looking active and good to go. Nothing's expired yet as to all of these required documents. And by the way, you can even use the side panel to just throw a quick request out to any vendors who are not compliant just yet, just to make sure that you've got what you need from them. The side panel also pops open in the schedule component. We meet a lot with customers and companies who are and are not using the schedule, but basically what this does is the side panel shows you a list of all the vendors who are associated with that project in Procore, and it shows you the schedule for that project and whether or not that vendor is compliant. So you can kind of use that as a bouncer list to keep you all honest and keep those subcontractors honest as far as what their compliance status is before they ever walk onto your job site, and any sort of risk transfer were to be incurred in that scenario. So yeah, those are the Procore features in a nutshell. One more thing I want to show you all is in the report subscriptions portion of Billy. This is something that we're revamping a little bit. You're going to get some updated weekly emails from Billy that have similar reporting tied to these reports. But what this does is it'll gives you the option to subscribe to reports out of Billy. And then those reports will automatically hit your inbox on a certain day of the week or month. So in the screenshot there, you can see that there's a non-compliant items for all contracts report that I have subscribed to that's going to be delivered to my inbox monthly on the first day of the month. I've actually exported that report out into a Google Sheet to kind of show you what it looks like. So this is a non-compliant vendor report. So you can see there's a once you basically export that out of Billy and pop it open into either Excel or Google Sheets, you'll see a project name, project number, who's the vendor, and then most importantly, what's the status? Why are they non-compliant? In these cases, their previous COIs that are housed in Billy have expired. In these cases, we have yet to even get that initial document from them yet. So inherently, in that scenario, they are not yet compliant. That's why there's no effective or expiration dates, because we haven't really tracked compliance for that vendor just yet. But a very thorough report that can help you all at a high level, but also at a detailed level to gauge compliance per vendor right out of Billy in the report subscriptions. Awesome. So we're whizzing right through here. The next little bit of the demo is going to be over to Daniel from our partner Calence, their system integrator, and they have basically helped us set up a integration between Billy and Sage Intacct. A lot of y'all are still using Sage 300, and Intacct is sort of a new, improved version of that ERP. And what our integration does is it allows you to connect Billy to Sage Intacct, send vendor compliance information between these two systems, so that anyone from your accounting team that's using Sage Intacct as an ERP, they don't have to go into Billy to see the compliance information. They can just see what's been pushed from Billy into Intacct without having to change screens or tabs or toggle over to another application. Of course, you can also give your accounting team access to Billy as just like a viewer, like read-only access. That's another kind of way to give them some visibility, but we like to take pride on integrations here at Billy, and also take great confidence and pride in our partnerships with people like Daniel over at Calence, who we had the pleasure of hanging out with in Houston a few months ago. And with that said, I'll pass it over to Daniel so he can kind of demo that part.
All right. Thank you very much. Let me share my screen here. Share screen 2. Here we go. All righty. Yeah, as Michael was saying, we have an integration between Billy and into Sage Intacct. We can also integrate your insurance from Procore to Sage Intacct, but this is just taking that entire step out of the process. This is a recent thing that we've done, direct Billy plus financials integrations. We have them with, as he mentioned, Sage 300, CMIC, Sage Intacct, and JD Edwards, and probably one that I'm forgetting already. But I'll just show you an update in Billy that we will then propagate into Sage. So see over here, we got Sage Intacct on the left side. Can you all see that okay? And here's the A1 Electric Company, and we got 4 compliances for the Northwest Food Warehouse job, which is 03-001. I'm going to go in here and edit my commercial general liability insurance. I'm going to view it, and let's change a couple of things for this insurance. We're going to update the date to, let's just make it today. It's going to be effective as of today, and it is going to expire 1 year from now. There we go. And then the policy number, we will update this to be 12345/B. And this is from Daniel. Hey, we're going to let the typo propagate to show that it's not smoke and mirrors. Okay, I need to click my confirm that the policies are active and good. Now, I am just entering data. Okay, so, and then here is the control panel where you can see all of your integrations. You can see what ran, what job it ran on, when it ran. And I'm just going to kick off an integration here that updates information for Northwest Food Warehouse. We don't have this working on webhooks yet, but that is in the pipeline so that when things are updated in Billy, we will just immediately pick it up and send it into Sage. This can also be run on a schedule every hour, every 15 minutes, once a day, whatever you feel like is what you'd like. Gosh, that happened really fast, didn't it? I'm so used to the Sage 300 integrations, which take significantly longer. This thing just updated really quickly. All right, so we should see something. I'm going to trick Sage into updating, and here we go, 12345/B with a date of 12/16/25 and expiring in 2026. And this is from Daniel today. So there you go. It's a quick and fast demonstration of the integration between Billy and Sage Intacct.
I love it, Daniel.
Any questions?
I call that The Joy of Integrations by Daniel Williams, as if he is Bob Ross, The Joy of Integrations.
I love it.
Thank you for that, Daniel. Yeah.
I shall inspire to that. All right. Cool. I will stop sharing now.
Awesome. Good deal. And we're seeing a lot of raised hands still. We'll definitely have a lot of time at the end for Q&A. I'm going to tie a bow on my portion of the demo today, y'all. This is the insurance wallet. So I've preceded this with some insurance policies, as you can see right here. And whenever you first import a cert policy into the insurance wallet, it's going to populate a broker right here. So what I'm going to show you all today, and actually let me zoom out for a second. So the reason this is important, y'all, is because basically whenever you have to send your own certificates of insurance upstream to a property manager or a project owner, that's where the insurance wallet comes to play. So it's kind of the inverse of the other features and functionality of Billy. In this case, I actually just met with someone earlier who said they get about 50 requests per year to send their COIs upstream. So depending on how big of a problem that is for y'all, your organization, you may see benefit from using this insurance wallet. And so now let me toggle back over here to where I'm in the certificate request screen. So as you can see here, I've got mostly completed requests here. This is the one I did earlier in my demo today, but just to start a new one, basically, let's say that this is a cert request for a school rebuild in Washington, D.C. So I'll do that and then give it a quick project number. You're going to tell Billy whether or not this is a new request, a reissue, or a rush request, and then tell Billy what the date of that request, the due date of that request is. Right here, it's telling you to attach your contract. So what you're going to want to attach here is either the contract that you were issued by the project owner, the property management company, et cetera. It's kind of spelling out what they require of you, so you can kind of send that information to your broker and their services team to do the rest of their magic. So either a sample COI or a contract is what you would attach right there. So let's just kind of grab something right there as sort of an example. We'll just do this one right here. You're going to add an existing cert holder. So whoever the cert holder is, or whoever the cert holder needs to be listed on the cert. Perhaps it's the property management company or a GC that you're rolling up to, such as Ray Construction. So let's make it the cert holder, make the cert holder the property management company. And then additional insureds, you can have multiple. So just to make sure all bases are covered, we're going to have all three entities required as additional insureds. And then you'll have your broker showing here. If you want to copy the description of operations, you can just type it in right there. But basically, you just save it and send that request. So you're basically tagging your broker in now to help with this request. Now, when I did that, it issued out a email, and I'm going to show you what that email to the broker looks like. So A guy named Mike Ashley, who is your broker, has received this email out of Billy. It says Bob's Builders sent you their insurance requirements. The email that they get will read like this. It says Bob's Builders need a cert of insurance. It says, hello, Mike's brokerage. Bob's Builders needs a cert of insurance for a job they have coming up. You can see and submit all of their insurance requirements here. So in this scenario, the broker will smash that blue button, which takes them to this screen right here. This is where they can see that sample contract or sample COI to kind of get them up to snuff on what the requirements are for this project so they can draft a sufficient certificate of insurance with sufficient limits and all the relevant coverages. It's telling you, or it's telling the broker who should be the cert holder. Description operations will show up right there. Additional insureds right there. And so basically, long story short, from there, once the broker is done drafting alongside their services team a COI, they can upload it to Billy to send it back to the person who made this request. So we'll just use that same COI that I demoed earlier for the other portions of Billy. So now that's being uploaded to Billy. And from there, you'll have the opportunity to review that back in the need attention section. So, or actually, let's see. I think it's going to be right here in the school rebuild project. Yep. So this is the one that was uploaded just a minute ago. And so now you can review that to make sure that it meets the requirements. We'll just say, yes, it does. And then you get this option to share the COI with the cert holder and just type their name in there, JN Johnson at this property management company, and that's the process basically. So it's just a good way for you to store all of your insurance policies in this section, have your brokers baked in right here, and then anytime you get a new request to send a COI upstream, you just kind of create it right here. As I've done so in these many examples right there. That's pretty much it, y'all. As far as the demo today, we're now going to pass it over for questions from the audience. Everyone's mics are muted by default. Nyasha, can you check to see if you have the ability to unmute people that have raised their hands or have questions?
Will do. I guess like folks can raise their hands and then we can unmute them as well.
Sounds good. Tracy Hunter.
Yep, and then we also have a question from Andy too. So I'll start with Andy and then I'll go to Tracy. Andy typed in to ask, how do I get the Billy sidebar? So the side panel in Procore as well. So here we can enable it for you, Andy. It's just a one-time installation in your account. So I'll have Catherine and Ashley reach out to you and we'll enable it for you as well. And then great to see a question also from Jessica Miller out in California. Hope you're warm out there. It's freezing in the Northeast. She has a great question. Does the insurance wallet keep track of expiration dates as well? The answer is yes. It does. It's really designed to be the wallet for you, the general contractor, because you also have many projects that you work on, and you're also required to request a COI from your broker. So it keeps all your master policies there, and then you can request COIs for your customers, all the renewals. It keeps track of all of that, just like the subcontractor product we have as well. A question from Kristen. I think this was a similar question from Cody on Autodesk construction compliance with Billy for contract statuses. Slightly different from Cody's question, which was, how can Billy update Autodesk? For updates to Autodesk, we're missing an API from Autodesk to allow us to sync information, just like how the Procore integration works. So it's work that needs to be done on the Autodesk side as well. And then I can check with John on just like the contract statuses, just don't have an answer handy right now as well. And then Tracy is asking, which like I can try to see if I can unmute you. We hear this particular use case a lot, which is you connect Billy to Building Connected. So would love to hear like the voice of Tracy here in order to understand this better as well. And we also have Billy engineers that are listening in the background. And as you saw, we take all the things that you tell us through Catherine, Ashley, or even our support. And then every Tuesday, we actually meet as a company with some of you. And then we build this as well. So Tracy, you can chat now.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. And thank you. So there's different, obviously, ERP softwares for builders. we are currently on what's called co-construct and builder trend bought co-construct. So we are considering making the move to builder trend. So my question is, you talked about Procore, you talked about Sage. Are you connected to builder trend?
No, so we're not connected to Builder Trend, but I can tell you what we're planning on doing. A lot of folks that are on the call have a similar issue as you have, which is I want to see which vendors I can give a contract. So make sure they're pre-qualified as well. A particular feature we didn't get to show today is that we also have a pre-qualification module that you can use. However, the thing we've learned through the beta test that we have is that the questions are not flexible enough. So most people want to be able to define their own custom set of questions that they ask to vendors before they pre-qualify them, then select them, issue them a contract, and sync with different systems as well. Now, the first phase for us is to build that particular pre-qualification module. We do have an API, technically, if you want to send over that information to Buildertrend, but it would be great just as a show of hands from the audience, like how many people use Buildertrend and how many people are interested in, for example, seeing vendor pre-qualification fully built out in Billy as well. Hopefully that answers your question, Tracy.
Thank you.
Excellent. I guess like another question we got from Maura, and she's asking for Sage Intacct. Is this tracked at the company level only rather than project level? Thinking about having one subcontractor on several projects with all of the compliance records for different projects come through under the vendor name setup as well. So 2 questions in there. I'll start with the first one. The integration that Daniel showed you is on the project level. However, John, our head of engineering, just finished the company level API. So shortly, we're going to add that onto the Sage Intacct integration. So you can do both company level and also project level tracking on Sage Intacct as well. The second part of the question is more for Daniel, which is, will all of the compliance record for different projects come through under the vendor name setup? For this one, Maura, we might need you to speak up just to hear your thoughts there as well. So Daniel, what do you think as well? Oh, you're muted. And the question really is, here Maura wants to see if you can take all the vendor compliance records on a project and put them under a company as well. And they just made Maura able to speak. So Maura, go for it as well.
Yeah, I was just thinking on more so if you go into like AP vendor setup, there's like a compliance tab on
Yep.
the right, and more so for like payment holds, I guess is what I'm looking for.
Yeah, we can set compliance at just on the vendor for a project, or for a vendor for a project for a contract. So we can do it at those 3 levels.
Okay. Thank you.
And yes, Tracy, Billy now has the ability for you to send your own COIs upstream. We call that the insurance wallet. Catherine and Ashley, if you want to take note, we can enable that for you. Right now, it's only by request only. So if you're on this demo and you'd like to get the insurance wallet enabled after this, I guess like you can either just put +1 in the chat, and then we'll copy your name associated with your record, enable the wallet, and then also provide training for you as well.
On the same accord, I believe we'll also need to enable anyone interested in the new AI features. I believe we'll also need to go into your account, enable that as well. Just an FYI.
Yep. Yeah. And if you also want the newest AI features as well, I think we just have just a few more tweaks that we want to do to allow you to actually chat with the document, just like ChatGPT as well. That should be ready like early-ish next week as well. So we'll make sure the folks that have indicated they want that will enable it as well. The plan here is to do kind of a phased rollout. So we want to make sure we button down everything. So we'll enroll it to a few folks and then do phase 2, gradually roll it out to everybody as well. And then good question from Tana as well. So Tana is asking, does .9 information such as the EIN pull into Sage from Billy, so it does not need to be entered manually? Really love that you asked this question as well. I'm going to pull you up because I do have a couple questions where we run into issues. For example, what happens if a new W-9 comes in, same EIN, but just like different address? Do we update systems like Procore or Sage? Which one gets updated first if you are integrated in both, for example? So, Tanya, we just made your microphone active so we could I hear your ask on W-9 information into Sage.
So I believe, so I actually don't have a huge hand in Sage on my company's end. However, the information that I get entered into Billy, such as the W-9, I believe is manually entered into Sage for like the U9 information, so that all of the integration is there in Sage for making payments. So my question would be, since they speak now Sage, Intacct, and Billy, will that pull? When you were giving the demonstration, it looked like it was pulling in the certificate of insurance information, and I could see the W-9, but you didn't click on that. Like, will that pull that number in to Sage so that it does not have to be manually entered by our accounting department? Does that make sense? What I'm asking?
Yes, we're not pulling it now, but we certainly can.
Okay, awesome. I do have one other question since you have me unmuted. Do you want me to ask that as well?
Yeah, go for it.
So my other question would be with the AI looking over documents, the subcontractor will see when they enter in their, like when they upload their certificate of insurance into the system on Billy, will it show them, like it showed a lot of the information that was checked green, like they had all that information was provided on the certificate of insurance. One of our biggest areas that doesn't get filled in that we require is under the work comp policy. There's are there any exclusions to this policy? That box often either gets missed or gets checked wrong by the insurance company. Is there ability I have two folds to this. Like, can we customize that? Or maybe it already asked that question to ensure that box is marked. And then if there are exclusions, we also require them to tell us if that person works on the job site. Is there a way to utilize the AI for that more on a, I'm sure that would be more of an individual thing for our company. Can we customize that portion?
Yeah, and those are very good questions as well. And the way we're looking at AI today is it's a baby that's just started walking as
Yes.
well. And we're getting so many different ideas from folks on how we should apply AI as well. So what we learned was folks wanted the entire COI automated. People want a subcontractor and their broker to upload a COI, and then Billy just tells you instantly if it's compliant or not based on your requirements. So if Michael can switch over to Billy in the requirement groups, maybe one of the things we didn't really do justice of is showing you how we reworked requirement groups to essentially cover all the checkboxes that are on a COI to allow for full automation so that machines can actually read this. And your particular question is in workers' comp around some of these boxes. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Right. So now you have a feature where you can define exactly where you want the requirements to be. In addition to that, you don't have to define separate document types anymore. We built you an endorsement library. So it's under policy endorsements. There's some that are in there by default, but you can also define your own as well too. And then on the subcontractor portal, the difference now is if a subcontractor navigates to, say, their workers' comp policy as well, it looks exactly like the COI, just with the notes on the right, but it shows them here exactly what you want and what's not checked there as well. And where we're moving to is, imagine they upload this document, and what you're going to see next is it'll either turn green or show you what you're still missing before you even do the review itself. And then I think you'd also asked additional questions of things inside the document, like how do we know if they're on site for example. Quick question I have for you, which I forget, like, do you guys use Procore?
We do. Yes, we do.
Okay. And then I think I know where you're going. Are you trying to say when a person shows up on site, you want some notification that alerts you and possibly the subcontractor based on, say, the manpower log in Procore that they write every day in the daily log?
More so just that in order for you, like, so let's say that you have an excluded officer. So yes, your box is checked that yes, you have an excluded officer and his name is Bob the Builder.
Right.
We want to know, great, we know that your excluded officer, Bob the Builder, is on the jobs or is excluded. Does he work on our job site or is he there just for supervision? Is he an office worker? We require everyone on our job site to be covered under the work comp policy. So if they're excluded, that's fine as long as they're not working on the job site. They can be there for supervision, they can be there for meetings. However, we technically don't allow them to work on the project. So oftentimes that box is checked. Yes, great. Oftentimes the certificate of insurance might list who that person is, but never is it determined whether or not that person works on the job site. So then I'm pushing the work comp policy back to them as a rejections, and then I put in the notes, does this person work on the job site? And essentially at this point, I'm still waiting. I'm hoping and hoping and hoping that Billy becomes a two-way street so that they can communicate back to me answering that question inside the system. However, at this time that I know that's not an option. So then I get an email back from the contractor saying, yes, Bob the Builder is excluded. However, Bob the Builder is in the office and is never on the job site. So if that information could be automatically known to them that those are the things that we're looking for, so they can see that and it can be added to their certificate of insurance. Like they're saying the certificate of insurance is not good because the AI system is saying you're missing this crucial piece of information on that portion of the certificate.
That makes perfect sense as well. And I think you might be a candidate for, I guess, like some of the survey requirements that we're building, which is the ability for you to have this plus maybe additional questions on top of a COI to say, we note that like you have an additional insurer, an excluded officer, and then you could ask questions like, do they work on site?
Yeah.
Yes or no? Maybe you want to attach documents with that as well. So those are what we call survey requirements. And I can make sure that after this, Ashley and Catherine will send you also a Loom video of what that prototype currently looks like today to get some of your feedback. Right now, we were just thinking of using that infrastructure on vendor pre-qualification. But I think there are folks like Kelsey from Gardner Builders who might be here as well. We're also looking for this to be mixed within requirements, just as you're looking for, but for different use cases. Like they could ask a question to a vendor next year, did you move? And if you did, then that triggers you need a new W-9, for example, as well.
Yeah, Tanya, circling back to your question about exclusions, there is one of the questions that's going to auto-generate here. Currently, it asks, are there any action over exclusions? But perhaps we could zoom out and just ask if there are any exclusions. And what the AI has found as it parsed through the document is, yes, there are exclusions on the COI related to pollution liability and these other things, asbestos, et cetera. So this is one way to kind of quickly find. Oh, here too. What are the policy exclusions by policy type to kind of quickly find where those might exist so you can kind of review those more in depth and make sure that the risk transfer is not going to be a problem.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
And then,
question.
yeah, we have more questions. I think Jessica was asking, can all users view the insurance wallet? I got to double check with engineering, but I believe it's limited by permission. So standard admin have access to the wallet as well, but no read-only users can access the wallet at this point. All right. And then Danielle is asking, does the subcontractor have the ability to view or access the AI assistant feature? They do not have the ability to chat with the document yet. Right now, we have just predefined things for them that we think are important for the subcontractor experience. Primary reason here is we didn't want to overwhelm them with too much of an experience. At first, we wanted to just release the things that we've heard that subcontractors want, which were we want to see the documents that we've uploaded. And then we want to see when we've uploaded documents, if that document meets the requirements that you've sent as well. Some of the things that are coming next are going to be, can I communicate back on the notes? Can I also assign some folks within my team to those requirements so they can act on my behalf? And then we're also going to start to see that portal eventually morph into the insurance wallet. So they too can log in and manage things just as much as GCs do as well. If they want to claim their own profile, that is. We'll still keep the login less experience, but we're at a point where many subcontractors, work with many GCs, and many are asking for a login-like experience as well. Yeah, real good question, Brenda. Is this available in Spanish or other languages? So the whole internationalization question right now, no, but you can, if you open Google Chrome, there is a way where you can translate the app without us writing code too. If you want, we can email you instructions on how that works. I just don't know the reliability of everything within the app itself as well.
5 minutes left, y'all. Anybody have any other questions?
And if you guys want to hear too what we're going to work on for next quarter, we're going to be putting finishing touches on vendor pre-qualification so you all can use it, given that many of you have voiced that this would be the next best thing that we can add as well. And for all of you that love Viewpoint Vista, we're going to be bringing that online too. So towards March, you can have Viewpoint Vista integration as well. We're also going to have company level compliance for Sage Intacct, which Daniel is working on as well. And then last but not least, it's going to be the insurance wallet. So like, how do subcontractors have this better experience as well? And Judah is asking, when are we going to get lean releases? It's coming as well. We just have to work around certain companies like Procore. As you know, I was part of Procore Pay. So there is a timeline into which I can get into the lien waiver business without actually competing against Procore as well. But it's definitely within our timeline for next year as well. And then Aver has a great question, which is actually going to be on today's demo at 4 Eastern. Have you updated the point of contact as well for, I guess, like a vendor? When I change the POC for one project, carries over to all projects that a subcontractor is working on as well. So I think, Ashley, it looks like you're typing. Do you want to answer this in real time?
Yeah, we don't have anything at the moment for that, but this has been a really high item when it comes to feedback. I do have a little workaround sort of way that we can do it right now, which kind of helps in the meantime where you don't have to spend all of that time. I can send over those instructions to you directly, but it's kind of in the in progress right now.
And then Tracy, the last one, which was contractors license tracking and bonds. So you can do this in the company directory if Roddy wants to go there as well. So today you can just define those requirements on the company level. So you can create your own company level requirements and say you want to track a contractor license, even surety bonds too, if you want to, or collecting W-9s, you can also do that as well. If you also want to get a W-9 generated, Billy even has a W-9 generator that verifies address and even the EIN number as well. So that's now all available within the Billy software. Part of what we see is the expansion of this as well. We think that subcontractors should have their own kind of like compliance wallet where they can also manage this information, and then they just share it with whoever they want. So they kind of have a smooth pre-qualification flow that then creates the vendor inside your accounting system, that then creates the vendor in your project management software. So that's the riddle that we're trying to solve while automating the COI completely as well too. Yeah, Mindy has a great question. Can we import current California State License Board and expiration dates, or do they have to be manually done? I think if we can get them onto a spreadsheet. I can talk with our engineering team to help you do a backfill to your vendors if that's what you're looking to do as well. But I think part of it is just really understanding the vendors and then locating their expiration dates too. And then we can kind of help you do mass backfill too for you, Mindy. Good seeing you too, Mindy.
Great questions, everybody. So just to kind of summarize the takeaways from all of the improvements we've made to our software. First off, thank you for all the feedback. We really try to treat our customers as partners here, and so there is no bad feedback. Sometimes it's more possible, sometimes it's less possible. It just depends on technical stuff, and engineering, product developments. But key takeaways are just, we want you to save time. We want to give you time back, right? So integrating Billy into your accounting system, such as Sage Intacct, is going to push information therein to help you execute payment holds, to have what information is needed there to make a quick decision on invoicing and all that good stuff. Also mitigating risk. The new Microsoft Entra integration is meant to do that. So once again, if your company uses Microsoft as your basically domain provider, Active Directory is what it used to be called. Now it's called Entra. Let us know, and we can enable that Entra integration for you to help create an added layer of cybersecurity for your Billy login experience. And then lastly, just to gain efficiency during the AI review assistant portion of today's demo, we showed you how you can more quickly get answers about the COI just to make sure that you understand what's housed therein. And of course, using the chat widget, it's a great way to kind of learn quick things about it instead of having to scroll through the many, many, many pages of endorsements and exclusions to find what it is you're looking for. Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for joining. We will at some point have a recorded version of this webinar available online for anybody who's interested. But thank you so much for all the questions and for your support of our dream here at Belly.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. This was fun. Let's do it again.
Hey, everyone.
See you guys.
Cheers, y'all. Have a good one.